Okay, my name's Alex Evans, and I'm the co-founder of Media Molecule. Yeah, I mean, oh my god as well. I mean, we've just had the beta trial running for a couple of months, and already we've seen puzzle games, we've seen shooters, we've seen things that really are not what you'd imagine Little Big Planet could be. But what I love about it is they're exceeding our expectations. Like you guys, you gamers, are insane. And our story mode in our game, we wanted to inspire you. So when you get the game, there's a bunch of levels, right? And you play through them, platforming, vehicles. But we kind of played it safe, kept it pretty like easy and simple. But what we find is the community then go even further. You know, they take our starting point, our inspiration, and then they just push it. And so yeah, I mean, there really is no limit. The answer to your question is that there's no limit. We loved the community reaction on the first game, so it's like a big pressure, a big expectation. But what we did on the second game was we just knew the story had to be great as a starting point, because in the end, not everyone wants to create, right? Not everyone wants to go and do that stuff. And so we really focused on making sure the story mode was the best possible platform game. If you buy LBP2, I hope that you're happy just for the game part. And before you get to create, before you get to music making, before you get to all of the levels that other people have made, I hope that you just enjoy it just for the game. And we tried to bring the quality right up. And one of the best new features that allows it to do that, and actually allows you to do it, is sackbots. So you can take all of the costumes that you bought on DLC and also the new costumes and basically dress up non-player characters. And that was impossible before. Before there were no other characters. It was just your Sackboy in an empty world, basically. And now these non-player characters, they can act, you can record your voices. So we have a whole story with cutscenes, narrative, and voice acting, which we hope inspires you guys to do the same, have stories, music videos, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, so one of the things we played with was gravity, because we wanted a low gravity section in our game, so we have a space section. And we found that when we were playing with it, if you turn gravity up, so it's more than what LBP1 has, so stuff is like really pulled down heavily, you get a nice snappy feel. And sometimes people on LBP1 were like, oh yeah, it's cool, but it's quite floaty, it's quite like gentle feeling. And if you want to, you now have a choice to kind of crank up the gravity and really make it snappy. But when you combine that with the grappling hook, which is really cool new power-up, and the bounce pads, which give you like a snappy bounce, like you touch them and then they launch you off, those two features make you feel really powerful. Like LBP1 was cool, you're running, you're jumping, but when you get the grappling hook, you can swing and like, it's hard to describe in words, but like when you play it, you feel much more powerful now, much more kind of in control. Like there's a real feeling that, you know, what you're doing is really controlling Sackboy, and I think people respond to that pretty well. It's crazy because when I describe the pieces, it's like describing Lego blocks. You know, like there's a red one and there's a blue one and there's a yellow one. But actually, it's much more exciting to just see, look, a house. You know, and I love the fact that kids don't care so much. Like I'm always stressing, like, what is Little Big Planet? Is it a platformer? Is it a shooter? Is it this? Kids are like, no, it's cool. I can make stuff, and that's all they worry about. You know, so I love the fact that if you get Little Big Planet and you don't quite get what it's about, don't worry. Just enjoy the story side, enjoy the levels people made, and then at some point you'll think, I should be able to do that. I should be able to do it better. And so then you will go in and you'll do that stuff. And you know, that's the magic of it. I mean, even John today, the guy you met is one of our designers. He was a builder. He was a construction worker in the south of England. We saw his levels from Little Big Planet 1, and we sent him a PSN message like, "We love your levels. Come to Media Molecule." And we gave him a job because he's just such a great creator. So yeah, it's his first ever job in the games industry, and it's completely on the basis of his talent in LBP1. So LBP could be making a generation of game makers, and that would be so awesome. It would be wonderful. I mean, the funny thing is, the guy who made Sackboy was called Francis, or is called Francis, and he's a super shy guy. Like, one guy made it. He modeled all the costumes, he made all the Sackboy for LBP1. Now we have 2 or 3 guys who are amazing. But the thing about Francis is, he said, how do I make a character which is recognizable instantly, but which is also you, so that you can customize it and it can be your style, but at the same time people recognize it in a screenshot like, oh yeah, it's Sackboy. And I think because he studied as a 2D character, like illustrator, designer, he said it's the silhouette, it's the crazy big head, and the like really thin limbs. And our art director Kareem was like, came up with that idea, like these really pinched limbs. But then when you throw on all the different customizations you can do, I think that's what makes Sackboy so unique. People identify, it's like, it's me in the PS3, you know? It's like my style, my costume. But at the same time, it's got this unique style. So it's all down to Francis, really, and he's amazing. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I personally don't create, but I draw an analogy like YouTube. Like, a lot of people watch YouTube, they don't upload. It doesn't need to be everyone who's creating, and I hope that everyone tries at least once and just, I don't know, how do I describe it? A lot of the new features in LBP2 make it easier, so it lowers the difficulty. So if you want to make a character in LBP1, it's kind of hard. You have to make cardboard and you have to make machines and motors to make it come to life. LBP2, you can use the acting and the 6-axis directly to control either your character or some part of the level. So the idea is we have these new features that make it easier. It's like less grinding, it's less like difficult to get in. But if you're a super hardcore guy, you're going to love it because you can go way deeper as well. So I don't think everyone will want to create, but I think enough people will try it and maybe enjoy it and discover that actually they have creativity they didn't know about before. Even if they just want to make music, for example. Like the music creation tool is really good synth, really nice samples, you can remix up the tracks, and maybe you're not interested in gameplay, maybe you don't want to make movies, maybe you just want to make music. That's cool too. Oh, I mean, there's so much. You can't believe it. Like, straight after we finished LBP2, we had a list on a blackboard. It was like the same size as this wall, just with all the stuff we half finished. Because the funny thing about shipping a AAA game, any studio will tell you, is at the end you're just cutting stuff just to make it polished and perfect. Anything that's not perfect, you cut it. So we have maybe 100 features ready to go that are like half finished. And we just have to decide which ones we polish up. That's just the near future. The longer future, we have some crazy ideas as usual. But, I mean, the thing that Mark as well, the creative director Mark Healy and I have always loved is, we're kids of the 80s, right? We grew up in the 80s, and there were all these like home computers you could get. And when you switched them on, they said, ready. And you could just start making stuff. And it was like, back then it felt like anyone could make a game and they could just get started and they had everything they needed in one thing. And Little Big Planet is like our attempt to bring that back onto consoles. But I think there's 100 ways you could do that. There's 100 ways we could go further, and we're going to keep going, you know.